Hey there, wonderful listeners. Welcome to another episode of Lifecraft Echoes. I'm your host, Osman Lukucha, and I'm thrilled to have you join me on this journey of exploration and growth. As a brand consultant and project manager with over 2 decades of experience, I've had the privilege of navigating the dynamic world of creativity and team building. Through my journey, I have learned valuable lessons, faced challenges head on, and witnessed the power of personal development in the creative industry. I am also the founder of Maka Studio, a space dedicated to crafting authentic and impactful brand design and stories. Through Lifecraft Echoes, I'm excited to open up and share my personal experiences, insights, and heartfelt reflections. Join me as we delve into the realms of teamwork, personal growth, and the incredible potential that lies within each of us. Whether you're a creative professional, an aspiring entrepreneur, or simply someone seeking inspiration, this podcast is for you. Let's embark on this journey together as we uncover the echoes of life, remarkable tapestry. Thank you for being here. Let's dive into another episode of Lifecraft Echoes. Before we begin, a quick note. Throughout this podcast episode, you might notice that certain names have been altered to protect the privacy and confidentiality of individuals involved. This ensures that while the stories shared are rooted in real experiences, the identities of those mentioned remain respectfully safeguarded. Our aim is to provide valuable insight and reflections while respecting the anonymity of those who have contributed to these narratives. Thank you for your understanding. In 2009, Ben and I met again after we had long parted in secondary school days. If you listen to my last podcast, this was also the new location where I came into and assumed their keyboardist. And Ben was the person who also invited me to his church. So we began what I would call a trial and error leadership. We came together to form a team, and we are passionate about making the choir better. I will also say that as at that time, Ben came back from somewhere. I don't recall where he came back from to this location too. Ben was very passionate about raising this choir. The only challenge he had was that he didn't know how. Myself, who just came back, who was trying to and belong to a family or a team of people, and of course, keep my values going. If you listen to my last podcast, after being part of this family as their keyboardist, I knew that I could also be replaced one way or the other. So I didn't just want to be like the only keyboardist. I wanted to be more. I wanted my value offering in this family to be more. So I agreed with Ben on his plans and passions for this choir, and I shared similar interests with him. When we approached the leadership of the choir that we met there, they agreed with Ben and I, seeing that we are all from different places and perhaps we may have one or two ideas to help them in their choir. So they were not relinquishing their leadership role to us, but they were giving us an opportunity rather to try our best to bring our ideas to life. One characteristics of Ben that I love so much was he always wanted us to talk. And this talk was all about his passion, all about his intent. And he wanted us to always write them down or make a plan on how to execute them. Osmond, we're going to write our plans down for this Sunday. And of course, from childhood days where we were both classmates in a secondary school, far back as 2000, I was, more comfortable with him, and we definitely had these meetings in his house and talk about our plans. One more characteristics about Ben is he has the ideas. I think I want to call him the idea man in this podcast. He is full of ideas, and it made us to spend time much more. We had several time unplanned meetings, I will call them. So I won't say they were meetings that we said we were going to have. I just visited. Most importantly, I had my breakfast and lunch in his house. His family was very accommodating, so it made it very easy for us to sit and talk. And because he was the idea man, he generated the ideas. I just documented the ideas. And much more than that, I also, did a very huge part of executing the ideas. You are good. You're always coming up with good ideas. I love them. Another interesting characteristics or quality of Ben was, I think because he was from the town, he was an indigene of that town. So he was able to reach out to this choir one-on-one, talk with them, in spite of the chaos that goes on amongst them. If you listen to my last podcast, those small factions that they create, Ben was able to talk to each of them one after, one-on-one rather. Hello, Sister Blessing. I want us to be good choir members. I don't know what the issue is, but I want us to be good choir members. Is it something you can do for me? I didn't have any formal training of leadership, talk less of choir leadership. I didn't even know how to sing very well, but I just wanted to have a value there. So all I just did was what was written down. I obeyed the document that we had together with them. Yeah. This is a very good plan. I will make sure to see to it, sir. It's a very good plan. Wow. Now, if we shift a bit to this choir that we met, and let me talk about them. Normally, every choir have their rehearsals, weekdays or weekends, and then before the ministrations on Sunday, they must have had their plans for how the ministration is going to go. I mean, a proper choir would have such kind of plan or rehearsal days. Some choir can even have 2 days in a week before the Sunday for the ministration. But for this choir, they only had their rehearsals on Sunday morning. And their Sunday services usually start by 9 o'clock, with Sunday school starting by 8 o'clock. So what they do best is to come very early, as maybe 7:30 or around to 8, to stand outside the church, just standing together and form a kind of circle and plan for their plan for their ministration. So that 1 hour, or I would say less than 1 hour, that time they spend, 40 minutes to 1 hour, is just Sundays. And this was their practice for months, or this was what we met, myself and Ben. As curious as I was, I really wanted to know what was going wrong, why they have to keep singing the same song over and over again. I mean, every Sunday, the same person dishes the same song for 3 months. They just kept singing the same song. The same person comes up and gives the same title of song, and then she starts. So when I joined this rehearsal one morning, I discovered that, it's the faction thing again. Because they don't like to minister, they resulted in leaving the ministration for the same person. So the same person does not also have more than that, may have more songs, but they end up countering her new songs. Why are you people always singing the same song every Sunday? What is the problem? This your song you brought. I'm not sure we can do it. It's very hard. Me too. I don't like the song. You have to change it. Or we can even sing the one we sang last Sunday. There's nothing bad. How can we be singing that same song again? Can't we just change for once? I said I have a new song. Which new song? Which new song? Is it under this few minutes we are going to learn new song? Are you not pitying us? Sure. I don't know. It's like it's only you that will go and sing that new song. Okay, now let's learn the old song now. What is there to learn? We have learned it before. Let's just sing it the way we used to sing before. I beg you people should do. Me, I'm tired. Though. Some of them might bring up ideas, and because they have factions among them, they kill the idea. So I think they spend much time arguing and then going back to rehearse the old song. In less than 10 minutes, they are done with learning the old song because, of course, they've done the rehearsals for multiple Sundays. Why should it be hard? But the entire 30 minutes or 40 minutes, they were just arguing, probably quarreling before they finally agree. And then 10 minutes, they have a rehearsals of the old song and then minister. Well, for me, it wasn't hard. It was as easy as eating a pie. I could play the same song as a keyboardist over and over again. It wasn't a trouble for me. I was only wondering why we couldn't change this song to something new, perhaps. So, for Ben and I, it was a very big job. The job description was almost clear, but the ideas and all the things we want to do was just for us a trial and error. For me on this end right now, it was all trial and error. But right then, we all felt it would work. So we go execute and come back feeling bad. And then we plan again. We go back, we execute. Well, one of the first trial that succeeded was trying to convince them that rehearsals are not done sharply on Sunday mornings. Let me tell you, people, we cannot continue rehearsals only for Sunday mornings. It is not good. We have to change. Osman, this is true. We really need to work on changing this song. And they agreed with us because they said, yes, they have been doing it before, but some of them were not attending the rehearsals. So it made it difficult for some of them to also go ahead. As funny as that sound and as beautiful as that excuse was, we promised them that if they come for rehearsals, we're going to have beautiful rehearsals that would lead to good Sunday ministration and, of course, new songs. That was a good try. We only succeeded in having extra day rehearsals, but we didn't succeed so much as having a new song to sing. Because neither of us were good choir directors to teach a new song. So how did we hope to accomplish that? So I think being the executioner, I summoned up the courage to teach the song and lead the song. You want to sing, but you are the keyboardist now. I wonder, how will you sing when you are the keyboardist? Who will not play? See, all I want you guys to do is, once I just call, respond. Don't worry, I will sing well. Don't worry about the keyboardist. Let's just respond when I call. Back in those days, there's what they call a cappella. So I felt it could work if you guys just produce good voice. They all promised to produce good voice. I was not going to teach them the voice because I don't even know the voice. I just wanted to sing. So it ended up that they agreed with me because I was to sing. So All I begged them was, please respond as I call. And they said, okay. And I taught them the song and they responded. To every call, there was a response. To every call, there was a response. And then there was a song. On Sunday, we dished out this wonderful song, conjured by the keyboardist. And there was no keyboardist to play. But then we had a very wonderful new song that was not the old song. Ben and I think he left the location, and myself, for a period of time, I didn't leave the location, but I didn't attend the church for a period of 2 years. One of these days, I'm going to talk about how or why that happened. Okay. But I left this location. I left the church and came back after 2 years. I should say my coming back was in 2013. Ben also came back the same year and then we met again. A lot of things had changed. The choir had become better. They were ministering, different songs every Sunday, different songs. And then they had new persons amongst them. And that means new ideas too. So the only problem they still had was leadership too. This is a time where I would say they were all captains.
I have idea. Me too.
You people should wait to hear my own idea first. When Ben and I came into the scene, I think there was an election conducted and then it brought Ben to become the music director or the choir leader and me to become the assistant. And that gave the both of us upper hand. We now had to come together just like before. But because we have succeeded in various areas of the choir, the planning right now was different from before. The only sad story in this story was that in 2009, when Ben and I came together, he was seeing clearly he didn't have a sight issue. But in 2013, Ben had a sight problem and something we can call a blindness. He wasn't able to see clearly, so he was led home and brought to choir rehearsals. And that was very sad. But the passion and energy flowing in Ben didn't make him look like he was blind or have sight issues. He had strong passion for this choir book. This time around, Ben was even backed up by the church head on his mission. Ben's passion can be described as someone, and I heard this story, he didn't tell me, sold his school fees into the church or used his school fees to buy an instrument or buy instruments for the church. Yeah, on several occasions, he would use his money to acquire something that was very much needed in the music or in the instrument line. This was Ben's passion. He really had passion for the choir. Me, being the executioner, I complied with his passion, and most times I was intrigued at Ben's passion that I also wanted to offer more. Yeah. The aim of this story is not to tell us that, with our passion and ideas, we succeeded all the time. But we failed most times and then succeeded most times too. But one thing was common. We never left the planning table. We were always meeting and talking. But then, there's something about passion that I discovered over the years, and I keep meeting people even to this very day who repeat the same thing. They describe passion as something that is like a fire that is burning inside them, not giving them rest, not giving them peace, until it is executed or until it is penned down. So I see many people, I meet many people, and they say things like, I have a desire inside me. I have a passion to, help people. I have a passion to liberate people. And I know exactly what they are talking about. They are not at peace within themselves. But one of the problems I've also seen several times is that with these people, with their passion, they lack the right people and they lack the right thing to do with their passion. For Ben and I think because I was the executioner and I was the one who writes it down, he was the visioneer, he's the man behind the vision, and then the both of us go into the choir to administer these ideas. Sometimes we come back failing after we have tried, sometimes we come back succeeded, sometimes it's a mixed feeling. I want to also think that with passion, team can be formed. But I know that even with good passion, it met with wrong team, it can also die. Here's a definition of passion that I stumbled into, and I'd like to read to us. It says, it's a strong motivating force that drives individuals to pursue their interest with energy and determination. One of the valuable lessons one will learn from this story is that as passionate as Ben was, he really needed the right person, me. Let me accord myself to be that right person. Now that I've assumed the role of the assistant choir director, I also wanted to prove that. And so for me, it was executing an idea of my choir leader and also remaining of good value to the choir team. I'm going to read us a story of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It's a story that happened in the 60s. The story began in the 1960s, a time of fierce competition between nations. The space race was in full swing, and NASA, which is the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, had its sights set on a monumental goal: landing humans on the moon. That was just the goal. The story begins with a passionate quest, a burning desire to explore the cosmos. Scientists, engineers, and astronauts came together, shared a dream that ignited their hearts and minds. These visionaries didn't stop at dreaming. Creative ideas flowed like a river as they meticulously planned every aspect of the mission. Engineers designed spacecraft, propulsion systems, and life support technologies that had never been attempted before. But what truly sets the story apart is the collaboration that brought these ideas to life. An assembly of brilliant minds formed a multidisciplinary team, which are astronauts, engineers, mathematicians, physicists, each playing a vital role in this audacious endeavor. Picture this: the NASA headquarters bustling with activity, everyone working tirelessly to turn the dream into a reality. Engineers and scientists stood shoulder to shoulder, fine-tuning designs, brainstorming solutions, and troubleshooting challenges. And then there were the astronauts, the brave souls who would make this journey. They provided invaluable insight based on their experiences in space, ensuring that every detail was meticulously accounted for. The countdown began, the world holding its breath, and on July 20th, 1969, with the world watching and hearts racing, astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin took their historic steps on the moon's surface. That's one small step for a man, one giant leap
for mankind. The achievement was a testament to the power of passion, ideas, and teamwork. It showed that when individuals come together with a common purpose and an unwavering determination, the sky, or in this story, the moon, is not even the limit. Even when these good ideas meet the wrong team. Take, for instance, my story of the team, the choir. The lady always had a new song to present, but because there were factions among them and there were people who didn't like the idea, they all killed her passion. I want to say that passion can form a team of people, but it can also die in the team's hand, and it can also grow in the team's hand. This podcast is just to address that passion can die, and then passion can definitely grow at the same time if met with the wrong or right people. This podcast is also addressing that most passion needs good executioners. Most passion will need special skills, special skilled people to execute them. And so the original idea man may not be the good, skilled person to execute it, but once shared with the right person, right skilled person especially, the execution is easy. I hope you get my point in this podcast. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next podcast.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Lifecraft Echoes. Your time and attention are truly valued, and I'm honored to have you join me on this journey of reflection, growth, and inspiration. If you found value in today's episode, I'd be grateful if you could subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your feedback helps me understand what resonates with you and how I can continue to provide content that enriches your journey. Remember, you have the power to craft your own path of authenticity and creativity. As you go about your day, keep the echoes of your discussion close to heart and let them guide you toward your aspiration. Stay curious, stay inspired, and until we meet again in the next episode of Lifecraft Echoes, keep embracing the adventure of life. Thank you for being a part of this incredible community. Bye. See you.